and welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle in Stormwind, I go for a variety of subjects, but this time it's a little bit different. It is something that I'm going to be starting every start of the month now. Every first of the month, I will be going over a different game. Now, I love doing the World of Warcraft podcasts, and I will always do them every Friday, but I wanted to add something a little bit extra for you guys. So I'm going to be giving my sort of take on games and pretty much what I think about them, how they are, how they play, what's the best things about them, maybe what's not so good. But these are games that I have played quite extensively, I would say, and I can give you a very fair take on it. And it's something completely different from the WoW podcast. It's going to be just my sort of raw opinions on the game as it is. Don't get me wrong, I do my opinions on World of Warcraft as well, but this is a completely different arc to take almost in terms of what is actually content on the channel or the podcast. So I hope you enjoy. Obviously, if you are interested in sort of looking for games and stuff, then this might help you out. It might help you find a type of game that you might enjoy and not have known about. So I'll get started with the very first game. So it'll be one game every month, and it will just be sort of a raw take on it. Like I said, I'm not sure how long these episodes will be, mainly because there's a lot more to different games than the other game. So one might be a bit longer than the other. You'll see. But we'll start off with ARK. Now, ARK is a game that came out several years ago now. I played it when it was very first in its beta stage, so it was early access when I started playing. And early access basically means that you can purchase the game and play the game while they are still making the game, as it were. So I bought it in early access, and it is a game that I've absolutely loved and had a special place in my heart for a while. So I was playing this, like I said, before it was even out, and they were still doing updates and stuff like that, big updates. Now, I enjoy it because there's many different aspects to it. It's very much, you can play it in so many different ways. That's what makes it enjoyable. So I'll give you an example. You can do some PvE, PvP, just like World of Warcraft. PvE is very much, you're just building. You're very much building and relaxing. So actually, let me go back. I've gone a little bit ahead of myself here. ARK is basically an open world sandbox game. It's a survival game, as it is in the name, ARK Survival Evolved. You are a human put onto an ark of dinosaurs, prehistoric sort of era, where you've got T-Rexes, Ankylosauruses, Brontosauruses, Mosasaurs, Megalodons, Titanoboas. You've got loads of different prehistoric dinosaurs and animals and creatures that are living on this ark with you. And your whole job is to just survive. It's a survival game. You can do this for as many days as possible. You don't have to... There is no technical end game. And that's what I kind of love about ARK. You don't ever finish the game. You only ever look to do more. And they have a variety of maps. They have custom arcs that have been, I believe, made by community and stuff like that. And these are just... And the really good ones get put into the game as baseline. So you will get, if you buy the game, you will get six or seven maps. And these are big maps. These are completely different to each other. And they have about 5 DLC maps. So 5 main story maps and stuff like that. But all of these arcs look completely different, have different maps, layouts and everything. And they each have their own individual dinosaurs on them. So some might have an extra, a few dinosaurs that another arc might not have and stuff like that. So this is basically the game you are looking to survive, progress, you build your little house, or you go and tame all of your dinosaurs, you go tame all of your creatures and stuff like that. And for PvE, you can do whatever. You can relax, you can take your time, you can join servers with many other people on them. The official servers have about 60 people, I believe, that can be on the server at any given time. And don't get me wrong, 60 people on a server, you will notice it. You will come into contact with a lot of people. There's a lot of moving about in ARK. You're constantly flying to a different location to gather a resource and stuff like that, to tame stuff. So you'll be, butting heads with a lot of people. In PvP, obviously, you can look to kill them, raid other people's bases and stuff like that. In PvE, I think it's more of you have your own sort of area and you can sort of show it off to people. And it's like, look at this is pretty cool, isn't it? And people will take inspiration from your base. People will have like different sort of like, oh my God, this is amazing. Do trades with each other and stuff like that. So PvE is a lot more relaxed and chilled. Whereas PvP is obviously everyone's raiding, trying to build up a massive, base and put turrets up everywhere and stuff like that. PvE is very much you can breed dinosaurs and have an army of T-Rexes to go into boss fights and stuff like that. So, like I said, there is no end game. It is very much a sandbox and you are constantly progressing. So you can go from thatch housing to wood housing to stone to metal to technology. And the technology is obviously locked behind a boss fight. So you can raise Rexes in order to do these boss fights, to take down these bosses, and you will learn what you need to make the tech stuff. Now, obviously, you've got a lot of different things that you can do. You can tame as many, like I said, dinosaurs or creatures as you want. You can look to just build a mega base. You can build many different smaller structures. You can make an entire castle pretty much in ARK. You could build the biggest castle that you've ever thought of and build it. Some people have built insane stuff on ARK, like people building in Minecraft. Some people build in Minecraft and they make like Hogwarts out of it or something, and you can honestly do the same in ARK. If you find a big enough piece of land, you can like build until your heart's content. To be honest, you can just keep going, and that is why I love ARK. That is the part of ARK that I love the most, the building aspect, because you can have your little house, your little cottage or something on like a hillside, and then it expands, it becomes a little dino pen outside, but then you run out of room there, so you build a massive dinosaur pen just for the Rexes on top of the hill, and then you build like a little farm area for your smaller dinosaurs so that they can free roam and stuff like that. That is why I like ARK, because of the free nature of the entire game. And you can play with others. So you can play it solo, single player. You can host a dedicated or non-dedicated session, so you and your friends can play. And you can host a server just through a app that you buy a server, and then, people can join that server, not just your friends and stuff, and you can monitor what sort of modifications you have on that server. So one thing about ARK is that you can change a lot of the server settings. So you can change the difficulty, you can change how much you harvest from hitting a tree or whatnot. You can change, I said difficulty already, but the levels of the dinosaurs and the creatures on the ARK. You can see how much your water drains, your stamina drains, how much you increase your health and weight by when you increase in level and stuff like that. There's always a progression system within ARK, and it's really, really good. And it's a very simple progression in terms of leveling, and you get your, they're called engram points, and you basically put these engram points into what you feel is necessary. So you can put it into learning how to build, a stone wall or a stone foundation to build yourself a house. Or you could alternatively put it into something like, armor, like hide armor or flak armor or something like that. So you get to pick and choose where you put these engram points and stuff like that, which is really cool. But again, like I said, the building for me is very much the main reason I love the game. And it's something that I absolutely adore, to be honest. Now, I will say ARK is a game that I think is better with other people. I find it very tough to play a game solo. Only very specific games can be played solo. And I think ARK is best shared with, the experience is best shared with friends and stuff like that, because you can bounce ideas off each other, or like it's for like PvE, it's like, oh, I kind of want a farm. Do you want to help build a farm? Or it's like, no, I'm doing like a wyvern pen, like I'm building a pen for wyverns, and it's like insane, and you're constantly building a lot faster. If it's PvP, it's like, okay, I'm going to go do a metal run. You build up the base. We need some turrets up here. When I'm back, I can help put some turrets out. We need to go and get some tames to help defend the base. So you're constantly interacting with each other and stuff like that. Whereas and also in PvP, you obviously have each other's back. Same with PvE, but less so. Because if you die in PvE, it's a bit more kind of, for God's sake. Whereas PvP, it's like, you can lose all of your stuff if you die. They're constantly fighting to keep people back from the base, and you've constantly got a source of backup online. So that's always quite fun. But I think it is best played with other people and friends, mainly because it's a giant world, and to experience it alone is not as enjoyable, to be honest. I've tried playing it solo, but it's just not as fun building by myself. I literally build by myself when I'm with people, like playing with people. But I enjoy the company so much more because they're constantly doing something to the base that I might not even see until I've actually, finished what I've done. So when I come back into the base, it's like, oh my God, thank God you built a fabricator or a smithy or something like that, because we really needed to start building like other things like metal walls or whatever. If you heard that crack, that was my shoulder. I'm not sure if my mic picked that up or not, but that sounded like a loud one to me. The purpose of the game is to be a sandbox. It's meant to be a very enjoyable, relaxing sandbox game. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many occasions where this is not relaxing. Can't tell you how many times I've screamed turning around and seeing a giant snake in my face just biting me. And when I first started playing this, I was petrified. I had no idea what I was doing. It literally was me stranded on an island. And that was what was fun, because I managed to figure out how to survive. I have figured out how to survive and how to read a map in ARK in terms of latitude and longitude, coordinates and stuff like that. And it's really fun. It's really enjoyable picking up these different sort of things in a game. So there's obviously a lot of small things in games that you pick up along the way. In WoW, it's, the abilities that people use. In ARK, it is very much where is safe and what isn't safe. You have different biomes. You have the snow biome, you have redwoods biome, you have swamp, you have, there's always the easy zones that you start off with. So easy biome, pretty much, volcano biome, stuff like that. So you've got a lot of different biomes, and sort of what creatures reside there, how dangerous it is, what you need to take with you, if you need to trade your flak armor for some fur armor so that you don't get cold and die of hypothermia. So there's a lot of different things to do, but again, it's so open to what you want to do. If you want to just tame every single creature on the island, you can. If you want to build a mega base, you can. If you want to just go exploring the oceans for whatever reason, because you're crazy if you want to do that, in my opinion. It gets really dark down the bottom of the ocean in ARK, and it's not fun at all. But you can. You can find, megalodons, you can find plesiosauruses, mosasaurs, tusoteuthus, or whatever they're called, giant squids. It's not fun, but it's a great game. I would definitely recommend it. It's one that you actually need to put a lot of time into, though. I feel anyway. If you want to look to join servers with other people, especially PvP, you will need to put in a lot of time into this game. But if you wanted to play a lot more casually and solo, or just with a couple friends, then you by all means can do that. And this takes the stress off of needing to play sort of very regularly because it is your own server and no one's going to raid you while you're offline or anything like that. So I definitely think if you're looking to join servers, especially PvP, I would very much recommend that you've got a lot of time on your hands for this game. And if you're just looking to do it, with a couple friends and stuff like that, then by all means, take it very slow. But I feel as if it's a hit or miss game. This game will either hook you and tell you in your mind to keep coming back to it because you want to build up a little bit more in your base, you want to tame another dino, that kind of thing. Or you'll think, this is awful, why am I playing it? There's sort of no in between, I feel. It's very much, like I said, a hit or miss game. Now, it's something that is obviously constantly being updated. They're bringing out different patches constantly. They're bringing out different maps. There is an ARK 2 that is in the works and I believe is scheduled to be released this year. Might be pushed back till 2023, which would be upsetting. But, I'd rather a complete ARK game than it coming out and being a bit buggy and stuff. But honestly, ARK lives up to the standards of any game that is released today that you might feel as if is really good. I do feel as if you can get into ARK and understand everything, or understand a bit about it, how to survive, what's happening in the world, how you do certain things, it's really enjoyable. And I feel like I said, a hit or miss game, but I feel like it's more hit than it is miss, to be honest. Because it's quite rare to find a sandbox game, an open world survival sandbox game that is this in-depth with mechanics, pretty much, in terms of taming, building. The building's a little bit annoying, I will not lie, but you get used to the ARK building. It's its own unique sort of function, so you will get used to it. But again, there's not much I can say. It's hit or miss. It's a good game. It's one that I've enjoyed for years, since about 2015 now, and I usually only play it with mates. I don't play it solo because, like I said, I enjoy it a lot more with the company, and I only recently got back into it over Christmas, mainly because a couple of mates of mine had some time off work and they all loved the game but didn't have the sort of time to spend on it. So I definitely think it is worth getting into it if you have a couple mates that are willing to, give it a good go. So that's my take on ARK. Again, this is a different type of series. Is it a series? I don't know. It might be, it might not be. But it'll be a monthly thing. At the first of every month, there will be this sort of podcast. This will not take over from the weekly World of Warcraft podcasts, which come out on the Friday. I do need to specify that. This is just an extra episode or an extra podcast. Episode. I was right the first time. This is just an extra episode that you guys will get monthly at the first of every month. So this will be an extra 12 episodes, or 11 because I'm starting this in Feb. But this will be an extra 11 episodes this year throughout the entire year, and 12 next year, and so on and so forth. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's something different. Hopefully I can sort of refine it for next week, as it is the first sort of go at it. But I've got loads of games. I've played loads of games, not just World of Warcraft, and a load of them are different genres, absolutely different, completely different, some of them. Some of them are old games, and they're the ones that I kind of enjoy the most, I'm not going to lie, when I can get into them. But yeah, there's a lot of games that I want to share with you, and I hope that you can just say that you might have given it a go, or at least had a look at it and stuff like that due to the podcast. But thank you all very much for listening, as always. Do check out the Patreon, all the social medias, the YouTube and the Twitch have been going up recently. But thank you all very much once again, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.